We move on to uh, react to Colombia. They hang on with 10 men to defeat Uruguay to reach the Copa America final. Uh, it's it's an amazing game. Wow, what an amazing game! In my opinion, probably the best game to watch at this tournament. A lot of things happen in this game. Physical, aggressive as always. A lot of tension, especially post game. We'll talk about the scenes that we saw from that a little bit later. But Colombia move on after a first half goal from Jefferson Lerma. They hang on despite playing most of the game, majority of the game with the red card, with playing a little bit, a few stoppage time minutes in the first half, and the entirety of the second half with a red card, with the 10 men Colombia did after Munoz got a second yellow in the 45th minute, and it despite that, Colombia go out, Uruguay go out. Uh, what a massive missed opportunity for Uruguay, having all that time playing with 10 men, and also the opportunities that they had early in the game through Darwin Nunez, and then playing the whole second half with 10 against 10 men, and not being able to get that goal, to get at least one goal to push it to penalties. Massive missed opportunity for Uruguay. This is a game that they'll think about for a very long time, because everything opened up for them, despite the suffering that they did against Brazil, and how they came in a little bit hampered with the fact that they had a way more difficult quarterfinal compared to Colombia, and they had to play so physical, aggressive, and all that, and really really died on the pitch against Brazil, while Colombia had a very smooth affair where they got to rest players. And on top of that, Uruguay had some missing players in this. But despite that, when Colombia go down to 10 men, that completely goes away. All the advantage goes to Uruguay, and Uruguay just couldn't take advantage of it. Massive missed opportunity for them. Darwin Nunez, look, at first, Darwin Nunez, I always had a soft spot for him. What he did at Benfica the year before he made that transfer to Liverpool was absolutely sensational. Ridiculous amount of goals. And it just seemed like that year, every time he created, he had a moment of magic in terms of being able to create a chance for himself. He took advantage of it. He was clinical. And since then, since he made that move, he has completely lost that clinical touch. He has had so many opportunities in which he gets nowhere, in which he just doesn't take advantage of. It's kind of like the Timo Werner sort of effect. I think Darwin Nunez has just more quality than Timo Werner, and can get into dangerous areas and create more opportunities for himself than Timo Werner can. But in terms of Darwin Nunez being clinical, he's just not been clinical enough. And we'll get to the point now where we're wondering, will it ever come? Will he ever be able to turn it on? This is now 2 seasons now, basically. 2 seasons now. He was pretty disappointing at the last World Cup, also for Uruguay. This Copa America, he had his good runs, but in the big moment in the semifinal, does not lets down his country. There's some conversations that we need to have over Darwin Nunez in terms of the play. Absolute brilliant. The quality he has to get into these positions is absolutely sensational, but the finishing touch is not. And at the end of the day, I would prefer a guy like Cody Gakpo that can do the things that Darwin Nunez does, to get into these spaces with the pace that he has, to create all these opportunities for himself, but will take advantage of the few opportunities that he does create. And he does have enough quality in a Cody Gakpo to create just enough opportunities to be effective, to really put his footmark on a game. And yeah, it's just really disappointing. because Darwin Nunez had two really, really good opportunities early in the game that completely changed the game. That will completely change the game getting it early. They don't take advantage of that. Jefferson Lerma take advantage of a set piece in the 39th minute, which came at the perfect time for Colombia because it came shortly before that red card. To get that goal early before the red card would be much easier for them, rather if they ended up conceding a red card later on, because then Uruguay wouldn't have to open up against them and didn't leave the space open that Colombia had in that second half later on to the game to potentially get that second goal. None of that space would have been there, so it would have been almost impossible for Colombia to get that goal if they were playing with the red card against this really starch Uruguayan defense. Despite missing Araujo, I thought they were pretty strong how they defended today as well. I thought Colombia defensively, the entire back line deserve a round of applause. Cuesta, Davison Sanchez, Mojica. They were absolutely brilliant. Yerry Mina coming on as well was very, very pivotal in the later stretches of the game. Yeah, hats off to the Colombian defense. They were really, really strong. Luis Diaz, I thought he was lively again. James Rodriguez, he's been one of the best players in this tournament, which is crazy. He got another brilliant set piece delivery from him with the 6th assist of the tournament. What he's done at this day and age, absolutely brilliant. He has a good shout to be the man of the tournament if he can lead Colombia past Argentina in that final. Absolutely sensational. Cordoba was really, really good. Lerma with the goal, obviously. Arias, I thought he was actually really, really good as well. And these are players that had to put in a heavy, heavy shift in as well because of playing with 10 men for that second half. But yeah, I thought Colombia, they have this sort of belief with the unbeaten streak. They have the belief. They're playing with the belief. And even though they go down with 10 men, they play with amazing, amazing belief. And it's absolutely sensational. Now, the Munoz, I didn't cover this. So he gets a yellow card. Okay. You put yourself in the position now. It's second yellow. He gets pinched, I guess. He gets pinched or he gets he gets his part of his body twisted, pinched, whatever you want to say. Okay. It's something that bothers you. Maybe you can yell at a player. Maybe do like a little get him off me, a little shove, nothing crazy. But to full on elbow a player, full strength, when you're already on a yellow, you gotta be one of the stupidest things I've ever seen someone do on the pitch while already on the yellow. You could argue that could have been a straight red, let alone a second yellow. And the nerve he had to argue after that, and all the Colombians in the bench, the coach argued. It is the most clear of second yellows. He can call himself lucky that he didn't even get a straight red. Now, obviously, that doesn't really make much of a difference. He's still going to be suspended for the next game with the second yellow. It don't matter, really. But still, he could find himself unlucky that he didn't get that, a straight red, because that's just, you can't do that. It's just illegal, huh? And it's a very, very selfish moment, and he could have cost his country an opportunity to be in the final. Now, lucky for for Colombia, he didn't, but that was a bad red card for Munoz. And great win for Colombia, and they have that sort of belief with this ridiculous unbeaten run that they're going on, and they find themselves in a good opportunity now to win a Copa America against Argentina, who haven't had the best of tournaments this summer.